Sometimes chemistry is not something you can easily explain with language alone. It is not something that can be planned line by line or constructed through careful rehearsal. It is not something that can be forced into existence no matter how skilled the actors may be. It is something that lives in feeling rather than logic. It moves quietly through shared glances, gentle pauses, and moments of silence that say far more than spoken dialogue ever could. When two actors come together with a connection that feels this natural and this effortless, even the quiet moments begin to speak loudly. Audiences across the world find themselves pausing scenes, replaying moments, and leaning closer to the screen not because they are told to but because something about that connection pulls them in. There is a sense that what they are watching is not just performance but presence. Today we are going deep into one of the most talked about female pairings in recent GL history, Lena and Miu, and exploring their journey, their shared past, and the powerful chemistry that exists both on set and off set. Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel K-Drama Cave, and please do not forget to subscribe, like, share, and click on the post notification bell so you get notified whenever I drop a new video. Now let us get into it. Lena is the kind of actress who commands attention without ever needing to raise her voice or exaggerate her emotions. Her presence is calm yet magnetic, and her strength lies in what she chooses to hold back rather than what she puts forward. There is depth in her eyes and meaning in the pauses between her words. She understands that silence can be just as powerful as dialogue, and she uses that understanding to shape every role she plays. Coming from a mixed cultural background, Lena grew up observing different ways people express emotion and connection, and that awareness shows clearly in her acting. Early in her career, she gravitated toward roles that required emotional layering, characters who felt deeply but did not always speak their pain out loud. She has a way of making internal conflict visible without overstating it, and that skill has become one of her defining strengths. What truly sets Lena apart is her emotional intelligence on screen. Directors and fellow actors often describe her as someone who listens while acting rather than simply waiting for her turn to speak. This ability to genuinely respond allows scenes to breathe and unfold naturally. Her reactions feel lived in rather than rehearsed, and every interaction carries a sense of authenticity. When Lena is in a scene, she does not dominate it, she shares it, and that generosity becomes especially important when paired with the right co-actor. This quality would later become a key reason why her connection with Mayu resonated so deeply with viewers. Mayu brings a very different yet beautifully complementary energy. Where Lena is quiet and restrained, Mayu is warm, expressive, and emotionally open. There is a natural lightness to her presence that makes people feel at ease both on and off screen. Before fully committing to acting, Mayu explored different academic and creative paths, and that broader life experience gave her a grounded perspective. When she finally stepped into the acting world, it became clear that she carried something special, an authenticity that cannot be taught. Watching Mayu feels comforting because her emotions feel honest and unguarded. Mayu has a natural ability to express affection, vulnerability, and care without ever pushing too hard. Her smiles feel spontaneous, her teasing feels playful rather than performative, and her quiet moments carry sincerity. Even when she says very little, her body language communicates warmth and attentiveness. When someone like Mayu stands beside someone like Lena, something rare begins to form. Calm meets warmth and restraint meets openness, creating a balance that feels deeply human. Rather than competing for attention, their energies settle into each other, creating space for genuine connection. When Lena and Mayu were first cast together, expectations were simple and professional. No one anticipated the level of connection that would follow. During early rehearsals and table reads, the crew began to notice something unusual. The two actresses seemed to sync almost immediately. Conversations flowed without effort, eye contact lingered naturally, and there was a sense of comfort that did not need explanation. This was not the result of forced bonding or publicity-driven closeness. It felt organic and unplanned. As they spent more time working together, Lena and Mayu began to learn each other's rhythms. They understood when to speak, when to pause, and when to simply exist together in silence. That emotional alignment created a strong foundation and allowed their scenes to develop depth and nuance. By the time filming progressed, their connection had become instinctive. This early understanding laid the groundwork for what audiences would later describe as a truly rare form of chemistry. On screen, Lena and Mayu do not simply act alongside each other. They respond to each other in ways that feel intuitive and emotionally grounded. Their chemistry works because there is trust between them, trust that allows vulnerability without fear and intimacy without discomfort. They respect each other's boundaries while remaining emotionally present, and that balance is reflected in every scene they share. Every touch feels intentional rather than accidental. Every glance feels earned rather than exaggerated. Even the quiet moments between them carry meaning and weight. In emotionally charged scenes, Lena often provides stability, grounding the moment with her calm presence, while Mayu gently lifts the emotional tone with warmth and openness. This balance creates scenes that feel tender, raw, and deeply relatable. In GL storytelling, where emotional realism matters more than spectacle, this kind of connection becomes especially powerful. Viewers often remark that their romantic moments do not feel staged but rather experienced, as if the emotions already existed before the cameras started rolling. Offset, the bond between Lena and Mayu remains visible in a different yet equally compelling way. In interviews, behind-the-scenes footage, and public appearances, their interactions feel relaxed, natural, and unguarded. They laugh easily, tease one another gently, and show support without turning it into a performance. There is no sense of obligation in their closeness, only comfort. What fans notice most is the ease between them. There is no stiffness and no sense of forced proximity. They stand close naturally, listen attentively when the other speaks, and often mirror each other's energy without realizing it. This kind of emotional synchronicity cannot be maintained long-term through acting alone. It grows through trust, shared time, and genuine connection. It is important to state clearly and respectfully that Lena and Mayu have never publicly labeled their relationship as romantic. What they have shown openly is mutual respect, admiration, and emotional safety. In many ways, that foundation is just as powerful. Their bond demonstrates what it looks like when two women support each other without competition and without pretense. As filming continued, their connection deepened, not because of rumors or speculation but because of shared experiences. Long hours on set, emotionally demanding scenes, public attention, and sudden recognition all became part of their daily reality. Through each challenge, Lena and Mayu leaned on one another for support, understanding, and reassurance. They have spoken about learning from each other over time. Lena became more open, expressive, and relaxed, while Mayu learned the value of slowing down, reflecting, and grounding herself emotionally. This exchange strengthened both their performances and their off-screen bond. History does not always mean romance. Sometimes it means growth, shared understanding, and evolving together through experience. Fans are not invested in Lena and Mayu because they crave drama. They are invested because this pairing represents something rare and meaningful. It shows healthy emotional connection, mutual respect between women, and soft, sincere representation within GL media. Whether viewers interpret their bond as deep friendship, artistic partnership, or something more personal, one thing remains clear: their connection feels honest. And honesty resonates deeply. Lena and Mayu remind us that chemistry does not always announce itself loudly. Sometimes it arrives quietly and gently. Sometimes it lives in subtle understanding rather than grand gestures. Sometimes it exists in the simple way two people see and support each other without needing explanation. On set or off set, scripted or unscripted, their connection has left a lasting impression not only on fans but on the evolving landscape of female-led storytelling. That is why people keep watching. That is why people keep talking. And that is why Lena and Mayu's chemistry continues to shine. Thank you for turning in to K-Drama Cave.